My name is Rebecca Brooks, and I am the program director for the Aspiring Scholars Program at Cal State San Marcos. I am also an associate professor in the School of Education at the school where I teach in the Special Education Credential and Master's Degree Program. And I am very excited to be here today with all of you to talk about inclusive higher education and the program that we started at our university.
Hi, everyone. I'm Allison Jobin. I am the Associate Director of the Aspiring Scholars Program at Cal State San Marcos. I also am an Assistant Professor of Psychology at Cal State San Marcos. And as Rebecca shared, we're thrilled to be sharing with you today.
So for this morning, I just want to go over what we're going to be covering. We are going to be doing a brief overview of inclusive post-secondary education programs and the benefits of these wonderful programs. We're going to share with all of you the key components of the Aspiring Scholars Program that we recently launched at our university. And then we're very excited that we have a couple of guests joining us today as stakeholders to share their perspectives and their experiences with our program. So I want to just define inclusive post-secondary education for all of you. Many of you might already have experiences and done research in this area, and for others, it might be brand new. So I just wanted to share how we are viewing inclusive post-secondary education in our presentation today. So it's students with intellectual and developmental disabilities that are included in college campuses. That can be community colleges as well as four-year universities. The example that we're going to give all of you today is our program, which is at a four-year university. We're looking at or I shouldn't say we're looking at, sorry. What I wanted to share with you is that there are wide varieties of structures of these programs. I encourage you to look at Think College's website if you haven't already. They have an amazing list of all of the programs across the United States. And so you can search by state, and like there are different structures, whether it's a two-year community college or a four-year university. Different components are offered, different components are required. So for example, some programs offer residential opportunities for students. Some programs require that you live on campus. Some programs don't have residential options. So depending on what the individual is looking for, I think it's important to look at the different types of programs that we have to find that perfect match for what program might be best for that individual. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that everything that we share today, we're not saying this is the one way that a program has to be implemented. And we're also not saying that this is the only way programs are implemented. We're excited to share what we've done and want to definitely encourage all of you to look at all of the different amazing programs that are out there.
Thanks so much. And Rebecca and I will be kind of taking turns speaking today. And I want to orient us to some of the data around employment for students with individuals, young adults with intellectual disabilities. So broadly, the employment rate for people with developmental disabilities, as pictured here, is far below that of people with any disability and that of the general population. These data also indicate that while the employment rate is rising a bit for individuals with any disability, as seen on the blue line, it is trending down for individuals with developmental disabilities, the red line. This figure also does not illustrate employment rates for a further subcategory of individuals with intellectual disabilities, nor does it capture how many individuals are employed at a living wage or one that can support themselves. And I also wanted to highlight, although it's a little bit less recent, data from the State Council on Developmental Disabilities from 2015 indicates that only 2% of adults with intellectual disabilities make a living wage in the state of California. Now, more positively, inclusive post-secondary education programs, or IPSEs, have dramatically improved employment outcomes, including competitive integrated employment, or CIE, as pictured here. Half to 96%, almost all of IPSI graduates are reported to be in competitive integrated employment. And then the data also tell us that students with intellectual disabilities who obtain paid job experience while enrolled in a college or a university program are almost 15 times more likely to obtain a paid job at exit than those who did not have a paid job while they were in the program. Stepping back, I want to note there are only about 200 four-year inclusive post-secondary education programs in the US overall, which sounds like a lot. However, it's a very small number when you consider there are almost 3,000 four-year universities in the United States. And zooming into California, there are 22 inclusive post-secondary education programs in California amongst both community colleges and universities. 9 are located at four-year universities. Only 2 of these, Cal State San Marcos, the program we'll be talking about today, and UC Davis, are four-year programs, with the remaining programs being two-year programs within four-year universities. Really important to share. We're so excited to talk about our program, and we are one of several that have only been recently established in the last couple of years.
Thank you, Allie. So now we're going to talk about specifically the inclusive post-secondary education program that we have at Cal State University San Marcos, the Aspiring Scholars Program. We were able to launch in fall of 2023, so we're still relatively new. We started as a small grant-funded pilot program with 4 students in the fall of 2023. The following year, in fall of 2024, we were excited to welcome 5 new students. And so we had a total of 9 students as we continued to build the program and navigate. And we were really excited to share that we were able to accept 11 new students who will be joining us this coming up fall of 2025, for a total of 20 students. We are planning and expecting to be able to accept another minimum of another 12 students in the fall of 2026. Over time, we would love to be able to grow our cohort size, but are excited that right now we think we'll be able to stay at least 12 students each year. As Allie mentioned, we are a 4-year program. Students who are attending our program are participating in a non-degree certificate program. And our program focuses on 4 areas, and that includes academics, it includes internships, it includes college life, and life skills. And so I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive into each of those areas to explain to all of you what I mean by each section. So the first area I mentioned is academics. And so students are included in the college courses on our campus. They enroll in classes through Open University. So students are paying tuition per unit with the Open University fees per unit. Students typically take a minimum of 10 units per semester. Students are more than welcome to take more than that if they want to, and many do, which is exciting. We support the students to choose which classes that they will be taking, and we assist them in registering for those classes. Students can take almost any class on campus as long as they meet the prerequisites. So we look through the catalog and the description with the students. And for example, we have students taking piano right now and Spanish, both of which those classes have advanced sections. So we have a student right now who's about to take Spanish, 3rd year Spanish, but the prerequisites were year 1 and year 2. So that student had to take Spanish 1 and then Spanish 2, and now they're getting ready to take Spanish 3. Same thing with piano. There's intermediate piano, which we have a student taking. Prerequisite was beginning piano. So the student had to take that. So as long as students meet those prerequisites, they have access to almost any class unless it's a course that is reserved specifically for a specific degree or a certain credential. There are some programs that only students admitted into those specific programs can take those classes. But it's very exciting to be able to have students take classes that they're really interested in and that align with their career aspirations. So it's usually a combination of classes that students take in terms of maybe it's something that they're just really interested in and really passionate about. Like any of us, would like to take classes of things we're interested in, but then we balance that with trying to align that with courses that really can give them the skill set or exposure maybe to a new career, but that will build on their resume and prepare them for a career after finishing the program. We're very career outcome based, really focusing on competitive integrative employment upon their completion. So we want to make sure that we provide them those opportunities to build the skills in the areas that are going to help them get a job. And so that's how we go about looking at which classes that they will be enrolling in. Let's see. I also wanted to share, I'm sorry, Allie. I also wanted to share that students are not admitted into a degree or a major while taking open university classes. So that because it is through Open University and it is a certificated based program, these courses are not going towards a degree, even though they might be a degree required course. If a student wants to get a degree and is able to get a degree, we want them to do that. They would just apply to the university as a matriculated student and apply to that degree program. The Aspiring Scholars Program was designed specifically for those students who are unable to meet all of the requirements and standards required of a degree program. Accommodations are provided to students through disability support services. The same way a student with a disability in a degree program would receive accommodations. The difference with our program, not only being a certificate program, is that they also provide accommodations that the Aspiring Scholars Program provides. And so an extra layer of in-person supports and peer mentors, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And then I'm so sorry, Allie. Then the last thing I wanted to mention was that students are taking courses for credit. No credit. They can take courses for letter grades if they choose to. I just wanted to explain how the credit, no credit is looked at. Students in our program are required to attend courses at least 80%, just like any other student. And then we expect them to at least attempt all assignments, quizzes, tests. If a student is unable to meet this college level standard of that class, they may receive no credit because the standard wasn't met. However, as long as they are participating, attending that 80% minimum, and completing or attempting assignments and tests and quizzes, they still receive credit towards their certificate for the Aspiring Scholars Program. So the credit, no credit is really looking at the college level standard. Again, if they prefer to take it for letter grades, they can. If they didn't meet all of those standards, then, there's the difference between receiving a no credit versus an F. We don't really see that a student is failing if they are attempting and doing all of the things they can and still receiving credit towards the Aspiring Scholars Program. But that is an individual conversation that we have with each student based on the classes that they're choosing to take and how it is that they want that reflected on their transcript. So I mentioned peer mentors, and peer mentors is one way that we provide supports to students. We're very excited that we have a robust peer mentor program that we launched in fall of 2023 when we launched the program. So peer mentors are undergraduate students at our university that are serving as peer mentors. They can provide service in 3 different ways. Students can choose to volunteer just because they want to volunteer as a peer mentor. Students can enroll to be a peer mentor through service learning. There are many courses on our campus that require students do service learning as part of their course requirement or degree requirement. There's usually a minimum number of hours that they have to complete. And the peer mentoring program is listed for students as an option for students to complete service learning hours. What's really exciting is that a lot of students sign up for service learning, and it's usually anywhere between 10 and 20 hours. And the majority of them, even once they complete their hours, they choose to stay on and finish the semester and continue supporting the students in our program. Um, and then the third way that students can sign up to be a peer mentor is through academic internships. So some of our degree programs require that students are involved and committed to usually about a 90-degree commitment of an academic internship, and being a peer mentor fulfills that requirement. And so students can come to us that way as well. Many students that originally started with us through service learning or through an academic internship end up returning the next semester just wanting to volunteer. We train and support all of our peer mentors. They complete a training with us. We're supporting them one-on-one the whole semester. And then they could provide support to the program in many ways, but typically they're paired with a student, and then they can go to class with that student if that student needs assistance in class one-on-one, to reiterate the class instructions, to help them take notes, to help them participate in the class. Peer mentors also provide support to students outside of class. So they are studying with them during study sessions before and after class. And they also can provide support to students to be involved in campus life, which is a requirement I'm going to talk about, as well as the students in our program are also participating in internships themselves. And peer mentors can be a support to those students in their internships. One of the ways that we also provide support to students in the area of academics is collaborating with their professors. So we initiate conversation with all professors of the classes that the students are enrolled in. Each student creates a bio about themselves that we ensure that professor gets that information before the first day of class. And that way they have information about the student that student wants to share. They're able to let the professor know if a peer mentor is going to be with them in class, so they know who this other body is that's coming with them. It gives us, when I reach out, it gives us an opportunity, because we're a little newer, we can share what the Aspiring Scholars Program is, and then we can provide support and collaboration to those professors in brainstorming any additional supports, any accommodations, any ways that we can help that student both in and outside of the class so they can be successful. So as you can see on the left there, that's our piano professor, and one of our students that's in that class. And on the right is one of our students, and he's taking an Arabic class, and that's his Arabic teacher. And so there's just a lot of collaboration between the professors and the Aspiring Scholars staff, just to ensure that we are giving that student the best education we can and that all accommodations are being provided to that student. The next area that I wanted to talk about is internships. So starting this, it's a 4-year program, as we mentioned, and starting the second year, students are participating in internships. And so these are just a couple pictures of our students in our internship. So on the left, we have a student who decided to complete her internship at our campus preschool. She is very passionate about art. She'd love a career in something that has to do either with art and or working with children. So being at the preschool was an amazing opportunity for her. She has taken many art classes as well as education classes, psychology classes, things that would give her again, the academics and the skill set to hopefully pursue a career in that area if she wants. It's also a great opportunity for students to try a job and a career that they think they want, and they may say, yeah, this isn't really what I thought it was. I want to do something else. And we always talk about, on average, many college students change their degree, change their, what career they want to go into. And so it's typical of all students, including ours. The middle photo there is a picture of one of our students who is completing his internship at our Cougar Pantry, which is our on-campus food bank for students. And he was really excited because he was taught many different jobs at the pantry, and something that he really wanted to learn more about was being able to do some of the computer side of it. He did a lot of providing actually the organizing the food and the supplies and helping students get those items. But then he also wanted to know the back side of it, as far as what's done on the computer and how to check students in and out with their food on the computer. And so that's something that he's learning and was excited to grow in. And then on the right is one of our students who is interning at the library. He's had a wonderful experience there. He'd had some experience prior to coming to the program in working in a library, and really wanted to grow his skill set in that area. And so those are just some examples of internships that we are able to provide to students. There's many more. And so those are current on-campus internships. Our hope and our goal is by their last year in the program, we'll get them connected to off-campus internships. We want to be able to build their resumes. We want them to gain vocational skills and be exposed to both jobs that they know they're interested in, and then also maybe some jobs that they didn't even know they might have an interest or, a skill in that area.
So I want to share last component of our program, our life skills seminar. So another key component of our program is independent life skills seminars that are held throughout the semesters, throughout the academic year. These seminars are welcome to our whole college community, actually our whole community in general, and focus on topics preparing all students for life and employment during our program and following completion of the program. Each semester, and I have them pictured here, some examples. We cover selected topics with a focus on career readiness, academic success, health and well-being, personal development and self-advocacy, as well as social awareness and relationship skills. One thing that's been really fabulous about these seminars is that we've tried really hard to leverage expertise from individuals on our campus and in our community. And this has a shared benefit of bringing in expertise from various perspectives, and also sharing information about our program with the community. Some highlights here. We've had presenters from our campus community, so from our student health and counseling services professionals. We've had faculty from local campuses join us for the seminars. We've had individuals with disabilities and experts in self-determination join us for seminars, as well as trainees in local programs throughout San Diego and San Marcos area. One of the aspects I'm really looking forward to exploring, we've had some of our more advanced aspiring scholars express interest in sharing their own expertise as part of our life skills seminar. So we're exploring how to embed that into our curriculum.
I just would love to share that the last component is college life. And so one of our requirements of our program is that students are actively involved in campus life across our campus. And let me tell you, every student is an overachiever in this area. We don't have a requirement in terms of number of hours or number of activities, but we do keep track. They log in how many activities and hours and things they do on campus, so they can keep track of what they're doing for their own resume, and then we can keep track and making sure that they have the support to always be involved in something in campus. And like I said, they do that amazingly well. But just some examples. Twice a week, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have at our university called University Hour, U Hour for short. It's no classes from 12 to 1 so that they can have activities on campus. So that's when all the club meetings are held. I mean, I can't even keep up with all the amazing activities that are held in the quad. They'll bring in all types of different events and fairs and live music and just different types of sometimes bring in rock climbing walls and just all different types of events, book giveaways, things that students can go out and get involved with their peers during the day. And so we always encourage all the students to go to that. We get support if they need it. We advertise it so they know about it. What's really great is we're all on an app where everyone can communicate. And a lot of the students now are telling us what's happening because they're getting used to seeing all the signs and advertisements. We also support students to go our student body activities. Our student body has so many fun events. They'll do like casino night, movie night. They've done Survivor Night. They did Star Wars recently. They have all types of guest speakers. So we advertise and make sure students know about the evening events that happen on our campus. So anything that they can get involved in. Oh, look at that. I'm impressed, Allie. So here's just some pictures. Let's see, I'm trying to remember all the things that were happening in these pictures. The bottom right is the Survivor Night I was talking about. The middle bottom picture where the students giving the thumbs up, that was at our club fair. We have, hundreds of clubs on our campus, and all the booths were up and students could go around and find out what clubs they want to join. There was a free Hawaiian ice giveaway day. So students went and took advantage of that. Let's see, there was pizza with the president in the top left corner. That's the president of our university. They were able to go and participate in that. So anytime there's campus events, we support students to go. If a student goes to an event and says, I never want to go to that again, then that's fine. Let's try something different. We've had student join clubs and go, wow, this isn't really what I thought. That's okay. Let's find a different club you might be interested in. So we just want them to be able to have the full college experience. And so that is one of our requirements, is just to be actively involved in college life. And there's just so many amazing opportunities. There's the rec center and all the sporting events and all of those things. So
we wanted to transition to kind of big picture. So as Rebecca mentioned, we have the wonderful opportunity to hear from some participants and stakeholders in our program. And before moving to that component, we wanted to share a few quotes from students and faculty involved in the program. So here I have them pictured here, and I will read them. Here from a aspiring scholar student: I love that I learn from my professors and make new friends every day. Plus, I love working hard on my studies. Another one here: I like to learn new material and what the class is teaching me. I like the Aspiring Scholars program because it gives me an opportunity to find out subjects I like. I get to be on campus and make new friends. We have a quote from a lecturer. I noticed, so a lecturer who has aspiring scholar students in his program. I noticed students eager to help him build upon his skills and also to hear his feedback on their projects. His feedback always seemed to lean towards joy and positivity, and he was a vocal champion of his peers' work. I remember one instance where a student was presenting her work in progress and was speaking negatively about her work. He was quick to jump in and offer his perspective and morale boost, plainly stating that she shouldn't feel bad about her photos, that they were really beautiful. He impacted my teaching, and that he made me see in many ways that joy is in fact not frivolous, but integral to learning and community building. And then finally, we have a quote from one of our peer mentors. As a peer mentor for the Aspiring Scholars program, it's fulfilling to see the students in the program become more independent and able to advocate for themselves. With a program that unleashes their potential, they have seemingly become more confident as they sharpen their skills. What a beautiful thing to witness. So I am going to transition the slide to invite uh, peer mentor and family and aspiring scholar to join us and share with us their experiences. So we have Allie Mulqueen here, a peer mentor in our program, Josh, hi Josh, and Jennifer Corder, who are joining us, an aspiring scholar student and his mother. And we will kind of take turns asking some questions to hear your perspective. We'll start with Allie, and thank you for joining us. So, Allie, I wanted to ask you, how has your role as a peer mentor impacted your perspective around inclusion, equity, and accessibility?
Hi, everyone. I'm Allie. I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you so much for letting me be here today. I've had the privilege of being a peer mentor and involved in supporting the Aspiring Scholars Program since the very beginning, since when we first started with 4 students. So, being here and seeing and being about to graduate, it is such an honor and a privilege to be able to see how much the program has grown, how much the students have grown as well. And I will surely miss it next year as well after I leave CSUSM. But to answer the question, I wanted to mention that being a peer mentor has impacted my perspectives on inclusion, equity, and accessibility by showing me that through adequate support, accommodations, and allyship, students with intellectual disabilities can thrive in rich academic and social environments that are also fully inclusive. It's also shown me that we as students, as undergraduate student peers, have the capacity to support other students' self-advocacy skills and even grow in our own self-advocacy skills and to play an important role in helping to advocate for other students as well. So it's really, really impacted my view on community of in belonging and inclusion.
Thank you, Allie. It's beautiful. Can you share with us a memorable experience from your time as a peer mentor?
Yes, it's really difficult to choose just one. I've been involved as a peer mentor in study sessions, so I've assisted students with preparing for tests, with completing their homework. One of my favorite memories from working with students in a study session was helping a student write a paper in a class that I've actually taken previously. It was really awesome to be able to provide the student with guidance from the perspective of a peer who's also taken that class previously, and to see them understand the material and be able to translate that into writing. Another really memorable experience I've had as a peer mentor was supporting students at one of our campus events, which was MIU. So on our campus at the beginning of fall semester, there's a kind of new student social that's for all new students. It's mainly attended by freshmen, but it's also a great opportunity for new aspiring scholars who are also beginning their time at our university to get to know the campus, socialize with others, and try new activities. And supporting students at that event was really awesome because I got to know students in the program before the semester even began. And I got to start building relationships with students and also show them around. It was really fulfilling too, because I remember as a freshman, I attended MIU. So it was again really, really fun and exciting to be able to support students when they attended MIU too, and to welcome them to our school and do more fun activities like karaoke and that sort of thing too.
Wonderful. Thank you. And our last question for you is, how has serving as a peer mentor impacted your future? What did you learn? What might you do differently as a result of the experience?
I would say that being a peer mentor and supporting the Aspiring Scholars program has influenced my future profoundly in really positive ways. I Definitely a main takeaway from this experience is understanding that support and advocacy and programs for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities should not be exclusive to childhood, but need to be sustained throughout the lifespan. And that's something that I plan to integrate into my future career goals in both research and practice, and integrating the perspectives of adults and young adults and transition age youth with intellectual and developmental disabilities too, making sure that throughout one's lifespan, people are being supported and included. And being a part of this program as well has really taught me the importance of these individuals self-advocating and taking a person-centered approach when, interacting with people with disabilities as well, and making sure that I'm there both as a supporter, but also as a listener and someone there to elevate the perspectives of the individuals who have these disabilities and who are part of such programs.
Thank you so much. And I can't help but saying congratulations. Allie is about to graduate from Cal State San Marcos as a psychology major and linguistics minor, and thrilled to have you be part of the program and excited to see what the future brings for you.
Thank you. Thank you all for letting me be here today.
I'd like to introduce, I know Ali already mentioned, but we have Joshua Quarter here, who is in his just finishing his second year in the Aspiring Scholars Program, and his amazing mom, Jen, who is here with him. We have a couple questions for both of them. We'd love to have you all hear the perspective of a student and family member. So Joshua, I know you have a lot of goals for yourself, both for education and both for career goals. So our question for you, Joshua, is how has the Aspiring Scholars Program helped you in accomplishing your goals?
Okay. Okay, hi everyone. I'm Joshua.
That's okay.
The Aspiring Scholars program helped me reach with my career, social and education goals. Dr. Brooks and Taylor have helped me guide in me reaching my goals. There are great listeners to support me so I can be an awesome student. I love Best Buddies meetings, new friends going on campus events. For example, moving nights, international festivals, and all of the great U-Hour opportunities.
Thank you, Joshua. I was going to also ask you what your most memorable experience was. I know you mentioned some already, so I don't know if that was your answer or if you do have a memorable, like your most favorite memory of since you've become a CSUSM student.
Okay, you ready?
Ready. A couple of memorable experiences at CSUSM, where I went to a Star Wars trivia event at night on campus with some other Aspiring Scholars and Best Buddies, and I won a Star Wars Lego set. Recently, I did an end of the year presentation for political science. I did a Jeopardy board that included things that I learned from this semester. I had butterflies in my stomach, but the teacher and my classmates were very supportive, and that they really enjoyed the interactive game. I was feeling proud of myself. One last thing. I really loved my internship at the library. The staff were very supportive, helpful, and taught me new things. And I really liked John, who was my job coach.
Wonderful. Thank you, Joshua. And I feel that I was very lucky. I did get to see a little video clip of when you did the Jeopardy game in your class, and you did amazing.
Thank you, doctor.
You did a great job, and it looked like the students are having a really fun time playing your Jeopardy
Yes.
game. And you did really good questions because you stumped a lot of them too.
Yeah, it was fun.
So, great job, Joshua. Our last question for you is what if you think about students who might want to apply to the Aspiring Scholars Program or other programs similar to the Aspiring Scholars Program, what advice would you give them?
I suggest for future students to communicate with Dr. Brooks, the staff, the teachers about picking classes, and what you like/dislike. That will help everyone to better support you. Try new things around the campus, attend U-Hour, because it's really fun and lots of cool activities.
That's great advice, Joshua. Thank you. Jen, I would love to ask a couple questions of you as well. As a parent, what has your role been like? I know oftentimes parents are really interested in programs and kind of like to know, well, what would my role be as a parent if they were attending, college?
Right. Yeah. Because I know Josh best, I've been able to share the strategies with you and the staff and the best buddies on how Josh learns and processes information. Everybody's been super receptive and open to that, and really just want Josh to be successful at the end of the day. So it's like, it's been great communication. Josh is a very visual learner, which, you know, everybody knows because this is wrapping up his second year. So, and everybody just wants him to be successful and support him on how he best learns. You know, just to be, I mean, honest, I mean, he does have a one-to-one support staff. There are the support in the within the program, but there is some time where I do have to
Yes.
spend some time working on homework with Josh a little bit on the weekends and stuff like that, just to get him ready. But he loves school, so it's no problem. But I would definitely say my role has been one of collaboration and insights to Josh's strengths while encouraging his independence.
Thank you for that, Jen. What tips do you have for parents who might be interested in looking at college opportunities for their child?
I think it's important to stay informed and involved, especially at the beginning. Try to be included in the events and communications happening on campus, then gradually trying to fade back so that he's really just giving him space to grow as a person, and you know, just not being there all the time, but and just encouraging him to try new things and being a part of the campus. You know, it takes a little while to get comfortable. I would definitely, for parents, take advantage of the campus tours. They're really great opportunity to really kind of check it out and get a lay of the land, and let your adult child get comfortable with the environment. You know, Dr. Brooks has always been so great with email, getting back to me and stuff. So trying not to call the time or, you know, just like letting them do what they need to do. And then just another word of advice, and it's not always works for everybody, but considering either living, you know, near the campus or on campus. You know, I know it's so difficult with transportation and all of that. And so it's just been nice with, you know, doing after school activities and things like that, that he's just right there at campus, so close to the campus that it's easy for him to participate in all that sort of stuff. And you know, and being an adult world, I know the transportation is a huge issue. So just having him close to campus has been nice.
Thank you. Yes, Josh, I don't know if we shared, he lives in an apartment very close to the campus. So it makes it, he loves to go to the evening events. So it's really easy to get there.
Yes, it is. It's very nice.
We do have students that live far from campus, so the commute's a little further. So yeah, there's some challenges there in making sure that the transportation is available for students who want to attend those events. So definitely help coordinating some of that when we can to support students. We have students who either have family and friends who are able to get them there if they're not driving, and then also supporting them to learn public transportation. We have several students since attending the program have now learned public transportation to get them to more events. So that's been great. In thinking about either when you were looking for post-secondary options for Joshua, or, you know, even just, you know, different aspects of the program now, is there anything, I know you might have already covered this in your tips, but is there anything that's been either, you know, very helpful or challenging so that people know that it's, you know, that yes, there are some challenges, but we can overcome those? Is there anything else you want to add?
You know, Josh loves school, and he got his
Graduated.
AA and graduated from Palomar College, and we kind of were like stumped. Josh loved to go to school. He loves the structure. He loves learning new things. He loves being around people. So we kind of had hit it. And then we saw the Aspiring Scholars program, and we just jumped on it. And we were so excited. It has been more than we expected. It's been a great opportunity for Josh. I love the full inclusion aspect of the program because not a lot of programs offer that part. I mean, the teachers have been so accepting. And I love that you know, the academics, it's so intimidating at a four-year college, but the teachers have been fantastic, because for us, we chose pass fail. So you don't have that stress component about the academics, and the Dr. Briggs is incredible about communicating with the professors about Josh before he attends. And you know, if he can only write, you know, a 2-page paper and he only writes a page, then that's his best work. And the teachers have been so incredible and accommodating, and Josh just really loves it there. And I'm just so blessed and lucky that this opportunity came available to us, and had the opportunity with Dr. Brooks. And so I mean, you know, it's been funny because Josh was the first cohort. And so as it's growing, Dr. Brooks is like adding so many other great, awesome components. Like now you can live on campus and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, I want to redo. I want to go because there's just so many awesome things that keep popping up. And I'm like, oh, we only have 2 more years. And so he loves it. We love it. And I just love that he is fully included. It's not a segregated program, you know, and he loves attending all the sports events and the activities during the day and in the evening. And I love this opportunity for him, because he's got brothers who went to college, and he wants to go to college. And so to give him this opportunity it's been awesome. So thank you.
Thank you both so much. And Josh, we've loved having you as part of
You.
our very first
Brooks.
cohort, and we love supporting you. And we're so happy that you're enjoying it so much. So thank you, Jen and Josh, for being here. And thank you, Allie, for sharing your experience as a peer mentor. We just have a few minutes left, and we would love to open that up to questions. I did see one question in the chat already that I just wanted to address. I see that Linda had asked, how do we replicate this program at the high school level? I could talk to anybody for hours about that. So Linda or anyone else on here, if you want to email me, I did exactly that for 15 years. And I'm excited to share that we are almost done with our second edition of a peer tutoring book that actually has all of the steps to develop a peer tutoring program at the middle school and high school level, and the curriculum that would go along with that. So if you get in touch with me, I'm more than happy to meet with you and share my experiences and or get you connected with the resources. So thank you for asking. We definitely need more in our K through 12 system. So.
Hi, Rebecca. This is Unmi from Sac State.
Yes.
Hi, I'd like to ask if Joshua lives by himself nearby campus.
Oh, you're muted, Jen.
No, Joshua, actually, what we did is we found an apartment complex right next to the campus. And his brother finished college just like a couple of years ago, and he works locally in the area. And so Josh and his brother moved in together, and his brother is his IHSS worker. So he kind of is there with him. But during the day, my son goes to work, and Josh has his own supports throughout that support him throughout the day at work and at CSUSM and the Aspiring Scholars Program.
That's a great environment. Thank you.
Yeah. And we're not the only ones. There is another, a friend of mine. She also is doing the same thing we're doing. She has her daughter living with her son, and they're in the same apartment complex. And so sometimes they walk to campus together and stuff like that. So it's been great.
Rebecca, you mentioned about focusing on 4 areas of your program, and how like a basic structure of the 4 years of your scholars. Like first year you focus on this, and second year you focus on that. Can you elaborate a little bit more?
Yeah, Yeah, so so all 4 years, we pretty much focus on all 4 of those areas except the internship piece. The students don't start internships until their second year. So their first year, we're preparing them for internships. We're really getting to know them. We want them to adjust to college life. We're trying to figure out what would be the best internship for them, and getting them connected. And then they don't start until their second year. So that internship is just second, third, and fourth years. One thing that we are now structuring more, we did it informally with our first cohort because it was brand new, and now we are structuring it a little bit more, that for our first year students, we are going to be heavily providing supports to them in the areas that we had found with our first cohort that they needed support, such as really directly supporting them with navigating our learning management system, which is Canvas. Really making sure that we put a focus on email. Everything comes through email. So teaching them etiquette with email, making sure they're checking it every day, everything that they need to be an independent, successful college student. We support all students with that all years, but we're trying to really provide a lot of heavy support in that their first and second semesters so that we can set them up for more success their second, third, and fourth years. But other than that, the program, all those areas are, like I said, all 4 years. It's just more and more support, I think, in the beginning for students that are newer college students. But great question. Let's see, I am looking in the chat, and is there an age limit? We do not have an age limit. We do our best when designing and creating this program as it's still developing, to align it to everything else that's happening on campus for college students. So there isn't an age limit for anyone else to apply to CSUSM. So there isn't an age limit to apply to the aspiring scholars. We still consider it that students are applying as a CSUSM student first. We really see the Aspiring Scholars Program as a support system for those students, and again, a pathway to a certificate that meets their individual career goals. So they do need to be 18, but there isn't a limit on the age that they can apply. So there's that question. And that kind of goes with, would this be after an adult transition program? Another great question. We want to meet the needs of students. So we have some students that are 18 and they're finished with high school with a certificate or a diploma, and they're ready to go to college. And if they want to apply, they can. We have other students that really want to attend their 4-year transition program. They feel it really will benefit them. They want to have that experience first. So some students choose to finish their transition program and then apply to us at 22. And then we've also had some students who choose to go like 2 years to their transition program, feel like they've gained everything that they can gain and that they're ready now for college, and then they apply at 20. So as long as they're 18 years or older, it's what's best for them. So we're not competing with the transition program at all. It's whatever's best for the student.